Welcome back to Adobe Live. We're so excited to be here, joined in the studio in Munich. So if you're just joining in from the US in the early morning hours or within Europe, please go ahead and post in the chat where you're joining us from. We're so excited to be able to connect with you and hear what you're working on. For those who I haven't met, I'm Clara Galan. I work on the community team here at Adobe in Europe, and I'm joined here today by Tim Möbest, who is also on the team in EMEA. So thanks so much, Tim, for joining us today.
Yeah, that's right. I took the bike ride of almost 10 minutes from my home today, so I'm thrilled to show you my latest and greatest, the new features for Adobe Firefly. But Clara, do we have any other sessions?
I think we do have some other sessions. So if you've been here with us all today, we just wrapped up First Takes, so what's new in Adobe Video with Matthias de Cilia, and we'll have some more great sessions coming for you tomorrow. But with that, I think, Tim, we can dive in. There's so many new exciting features in Adobe Firefly on the web and in Express. I know they're
so
pretty hot to handle. So we're looking forward to diving right in and checking them out. So go right ahead.
That's right. Yes. So hi, everybody. Long time no see. I know. Today, it's going to be all about the latest and greatest of the Adobe Firefly and generative AI features. And I would like to give you a quick tour of some of the features which you may have missed. So let's jump right in because we only have 25 minutes. So you all better listen fast. Cool. So we are starting out in Adobe Firefly, which, if you don't know, is Adobe's generative AI, where you can create all sorts of different amazing artworks. In this case, I am on the main webpage of Firefly, which is at firefly.adobe.com. So if you want to participate, do join me and navigate perhaps on a second browser to firefly.adobe.com. All right. So starting out, of course, my favorite feature, which was announced yesterday, is the new and improved Firefly model. We now have Firefly 2.0. Okay, so what's new about Firefly 2? Maybe you haven't seen that one yet, or maybe you want to compare both versions. Yeah. Luckily, we are prepared and have a handy-dandy comparison image for you ready, which you can access as well. So before, this is Firefly Model 1, and after, look at that, Firefly Model 2. Let's have a look at another image. Before, very artistic, right? I mean, it's definitely a cat with marshmallows. We can all see that. However, I think we can all agree, the second version with a new model, much better. So you may be asking, well, hang on, if the second model is so much better, I mean, before and after, why can we still use the first one? Great question. Turns out the first one is really, really good at creating very stylized images. So let's say we want to have an illustration version of this fruit, then Firefly Model 1 is really good at that. Like anything that's super dreamy or very stylized, Firefly Model 1 is your best friend. But if you're looking for a more realistic approach or more refined, more detail, then Firefly Model 2 is your go-to place to create your favorite new artwork. And I'm not going to go through all of these examples because we don't have that much time, but I do encourage you to go over to firefly.adobe.com and check those out. Right. What's also different, and that's quite important, is generative credits. We now have introduced a system called generative credits, and those are not yet enforced. So right now you have all the time to try out everything, see what you like. If you like Model 1, Model 2, doesn't matter, try them out. But later this year, and I do have an FAQ for that, on November 1st, there will be enforcements. So what does that mean? Well, depending on your plan, you may have more or less or fewer credits. So you can scroll down here and you will see exactly how many credits the plan will have. So for example, Creative Cloud All Apps will have 1,000 credits and other plans will have fewer credits. So I have prepared an example because you just want to see how that would look. what that would look like. I have created a login with a free account of Adobe, of an Adobe ID. This does not have any payment whatsoever behind it. And if I check here, you can see I have about 25 generative credits left. And if I want, I can come on over here and say, yes, please upgrade, because there are dedicated plans for Adobe Firefly, which you can see here. And of course, certain credits will also be allotted depending on your already existing plan.
Yeah. And
so, yeah.
We've gotten a lot of questions about this from the community too. So if you already have access to a Creative Cloud subscription, not to worry, you should be able to have as many generations as possible. So just be sure to check out those plans. And again, that's not coming until November. So if you have any questions, I'll go ahead and pop my email in the chat, and feel free to reach out and we can definitely connect.
Amazing. All right. And finally, just to highlight another sphere, if you navigate to your Adobe Accounts page, so this is another browser, it's another account, and you can see Adobe for Enterprise, then you will have more credits. So if you see that, then you're even more free to spend the credits as you want. All right. Okay, so let's jump into Firefly. Let's actually see some generation, some artwork. Let's get into it. Firstly, I would like to focus on the text to image, where you type in a text and, well, it generates an image. Who would have thought? All right, so let's jump in. Now, since, depending on your plan, your credits might be limited, so you perhaps don't want to use them all over. So, whereas before, maybe if we move the camera to the other side, previously you would have to type in the prompt. So let's say character with funny eyes. And then you would generate. But then you would have to spend another credit to then refine using the tools on the right. Well, we don't want that. No. So here's a sneaky tip. Sneaky trick. How can you... Oh, well, that's a funny character with funny eyes. You know, I do agree. Thank you, Firefly. The way around that is by simply, if you are on this page, just clicking on any... Oh, and spitting on the monitor. That's the trick. Now, clicking on any of those generated images, it truly does not matter, because all those images are already generated. So you won't be billed a credit for that.
That's great
and now you can actually get rid of everything in here if you want and start from scratch. And you can immediately, without having to generate one prompt already, you can already say, yes, I want art. And oh, yes, bokeh, definitely yes. Right. So that's a small trick for everyone using Firefly. Right. While we're here, I thought we should maybe create a small character that I could use to tell an amazing story, which of course I definitely thought of myself and didn't use ChatGPT. Right, no, just kidding.
Power of AI, right?
The power of AI. So I thought, let's create a small character, and since it's turning autumn, I mean, it's almost winter, so I thought perhaps something autumn themed with some leaves, some acorns maybe. So let's get some ideas. But maybe I'm not good at prompting. This is my first time seeing Firefly. What's this? What's the prompt? I don't know. Firefly, can you maybe help me a bit with coming up with some prompts? And Firefly says, sure thing, Tim. And if I type in cute, funny character, I can enable suggestions. And then Firefly will say, ooh, how about this? Would you like, maybe
I love these
made out of a bottle of wine?
Makes it so much easier.
In this case, made out of acorns and leaves. There we go. Anything else? Ooh, vintage style watercolor. Ooh,
I think that's cool.
Yeah, should we try that?
Yeah, let's try that one.
All right, amazing. And if I don't want suggestions, I could keep going. I can just turn it off, and that's fine. That's fine as well. Okay, so let's generate that. I think for this one, photo. Yeah, I can say how intense the generation should be on a scale of not at all to, oh my God, very intensive. I think right around the middle is fine for us today. So yeah, let's just tap generate.
And Tim, as we're waiting for that, we do have a question here from Shelly. Thanks for joining in. that when you generate an image and there's 3 different options, do you have to use 3 credits or just 1 credit?
Yes. So the way it works for now, at least, and there's also an FAQ on that. Right now, you can think of it like every time you press the generate button, that's 1 credit.
Yep.
So even if we go back to my screen, you can see it has finished generating. And I have now 4 images, but that would have cost me 1 credit, 1 only. This might change in the future depending on the AI features we have. So, for example, I could think about like a video might cost more, but right now that's not set in stone. So do keep your eyes on the FAQ and see what's happening there. Right. Now we have our very cute, funny character made out of acorns, leaves, vintage style watercolor floral illustration. I would say that's a pretty good result. So thumbs up for that. Thank you, Firefly. But I was thinking, that doesn't really capture what I wanted. I was thinking I had a different image in my mind. So wouldn't it be great if we could insert some sort of, I don't know, a reference image, perhaps? Wouldn't that be great? Well, luckily, with the latest version of Firefly, which makes sure you are on Firefly Model 2 in beta. By the way, even though this says beta, the Firefly 2 model is commercially safe. I can use it. I've checked. So, yes, you can use it commercially, even though it says beta.
And no worry about watermarks.
No watermarks, unless you are on the free version. Then you do good watermarks. All right, so let's add some references. I can either use some of the presets, which we have here. Those are really cool images. However, I feel today I would like to use an image of my own. And luckily, I'm spitting on the monitor again. Luckily, I have prepared some images, which I have here. And since this is live, chat, you get to decide which one we'll pick. But please be quick. So in here, let's focus on the first one. So chat, anywhere in the chat, please say 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one do you like best? And we'll come back to that in a moment. Meanwhile, perfect. Clara, you get to pick which one of these below you would prefer.
Let's go with number 2. It's got a little bit more oomph.
All right. These are fake plants, by the way, because obviously in my studio, nothing grows. So
it's all dark. You got the green screen up.
I know. All right. We'll pick this one.
The chat's coming in on fire, by the way. Lots of options.
Do let me know which one they prefer, but we will start with... oh, no, we can start with the chat one. Do we have
do we have a consensus?
There's a lot of 2s.
Some 2s, a couple 4s. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. These are coming in so fast.
What's Beyonce saying?
Let's see. Wow, coming in so fast.
2.
I'm seeing mostly...
A lot of 2s. What?
Yeah, and
anything on Behance?
Let's check out Behance.
4,
I'm
4,
seeing
4,
2.
All right.
And again on YouTube, we've got a lot of 2s.
All right. Since the 2s, you have already picked this 2. Let's use the 4.
I think it coincides nicely. I think
it's
like in the same...
Both 2?
2, yeah. It's in the same kind of theme.
Let's use both.
I'm liking that. We're in the right
direction. It happens to be the same plant. Shot from above and from the front. All right. Okay.
A lot of continuity.
So I will be using, and let's just find that one. It should be that one, I think. Number 2. Yes, that's the one. Upload. Now, Firefly will now ask me, hey, Tim, do you have the rights to this image? Are you actually sure? Luckily, I took that photo yesterday. So yes, I do have the rights. But this is actually quite serious. So please, if you are uploading any images, then you have to make sure that you do own the rights. So please don't just take a photo of the Titanic movie poster and use it as a reference. That's not allowed. Of course, Firefly will now scan my image if it happens to be part of the content authenticity database. And if it were, then I can't use it. So if it was trained like, oh no, you can't use that, then I couldn't use this as reference. But luckily, this is not, because I took it yesterday.
That's such a great feature. I think if you're not, if you're unsure, that's a great way to be able to check it.
Right. So now, please keep those images in your mind. Visualize them. Remember.
Okay, I'm visualizing.
And now we will generate again. And I also want to pay attention to how quickly those generate. I feel like maybe this is just my bad memory, but when we first started, it took so long, and now it's already done. There we go. Oh, wow. Amazing. And I hope you can see the clear difference. Think back to the other image you had in mind. We now have our image in this style. Now, what's important, of course, we have specified watercolor, but we don't see a lot of watercolor. So this is where the strength slider comes in. Do we want to adhere more to our style reference? Or should we adhere more to our prompt? Whichever we prefer, there's a slider for that. I won't get into the detail right now because we do have a bit of more things I want to show you. So try that on your own. Right. But let's say, yeah, I do like this, but I would prefer a different style reference. So let's try the second image which we have picked. And I think it was that one.
I've got a great comment here from Daniel. I am Groot. It's giving very Groot vibes.
Yes. All right. And right, let's try that again. Generate. Again, super quick.
Yeah.
And once we have our favorite image, I think we can just pick our favorite one. We shall use it in a design because our journey does not end here. We can take those images, and particularly character images. I mean, that's even... oh, that's good. You can see clearly we now have some sort of base, which came from the concrete pot. So I think I will stick to this one. Yes, that's my favorite. I get to pick this. And let's use this in a design. So what's new is we can now save this as a, oops, sorry, wrong button. Let's try this again. We can now save this to our libraries, or we can edit it directly in Adobe Express. Or even better, we could use this one for generative fill. We can show similar ones, use this one as a style reference. Who knows? Or what I probably want to do is remove the background. So let's do that. Because for my character, I would like to place him on a stage. And I particularly don't want this. I mean, it's a fine background, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really. So
it's amazing, this seamless transition from Firefly Web to Express.
One click.
Yeah.
And we're done already. Think back to how much time that would have taken.
So much opening up a new application, going there, being able to remove every little piece of the background. No, this makes it so much easier.
And now we can do it in Adobe Express. Or as I like to call it, the Adobe Express. Had to do it. Right. Cool. So I will now just, honestly, I could put this in the library if I want to, or I will just copy this, move on over to my demo file, which looks like we don't have much time left. So I will go to the prepared one. Here's what I've prepared earlier.
Yeah, and really quick question from Zuri. So things that get generated in Firefly, can they be saved as high resolution to be print ready as CMYK?
Right. So the resolution right now, it also depends on the format in which you save, whether it's widescreen, square. The resolution does have a limit. So it depends on how big your print will be. I encourage you to just download that right here. Yes, I don't need to show that again. That's okay. And then we could quickly hop on to my downloads. There it is. We can, no, I don't want to edit. I can want to preview, and then we can zoom in and you can see the quality. So yeah, it's definitely not 8K, but let's see what the resolution of this is. It happens to be, what does it say? More info. 2048 by 2048. And I think that's the limit as well.
Okay.
But more resolutions will be available in the future.
Yes.
But they may or may not be adjusted for the credit price. Okay. The info is not out on that one yet. So please keep your eyes on the FAQ.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Right. Meanwhile, in Adobe Express, I have imported by simply Command-C, Command-V, copy pasting.
Super easy.
My character, so I'm just going to put him behind, maybe even here, so he's sort of behind all the fur, or the ferns. And I think I would like to add some quick text because in Adobe Express, we can now add text effects. Right. So in here, I mean, I could use one of the presets. Absolutely fine. Let's say this one. That looks
perfect. And
actually,
I think it was made for this image.
I think we should. I was about to say no, let's use our own, but no, that's good. That's good, Leaf.
Yeah.
And let's say the. Oh, sorry, my bad. No, I don't want to describe. I don't want to. Hang on. There we go. I want to change the text. I didn't want to change the prompt. My bad. So I need to click here and say the amazing story. I could pick a better title, but yeah. Right. Make that perhaps a tiny bit smaller. How about like 100? Well, that's too small. 300.
300.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Right. Align that to perhaps the right today. I'm feeling like this is a right line text. And there we go. I could refine this further either by going back to the text and changing the prompt for the text. Hang on.
You're changing the text.
Should be prompt. Yeah. There it is. Right. Perfect. I can change the prompt text, which I want to have. Like instead of leaves, I could say fern or whatever I prefer. Or what I could do, hang on, let me just get rid of this text. We don't want two versions. Delete. There we go. Oh, this was what I've prepared earlier. Hang on. Oh no, I've deleted the entire thing. Oh no.
But you know, that's okay. This is giving
there's an undo button.
You know, fall vibes where there we
Luckily,
go. We have two options.
Button.
You know, one
so
that's more
good.
spring appropriate and one that's more fall appropriate.
All right, let's delete that. The thing I wanted to say just briefly is, of course, I still have access to all my effects. I can add a shadow if I want to. Perhaps just make this darker to increase the contrast. It would probably go for a custom shadow and maybe blur that out a bit more, reduce the angle to right around here, distance down, there we go. Something like that. I'm sure at home you're much better designers than I ever am, but I see that we are running out of time already, so I wish we had the time to go into Photoshop on the web. I wish we had the time to do more, but I do encourage you to try out all the new features at home. And of course, to stay tuned for the next session, because Clara, what's next?
I know we'll be moving straight into our inspirational keynote, and then be sure to stay tuned to Adobe Live on YouTube, Behance, and on the Max website. We can bring up some of the sessions that we have tomorrow. So I know tomorrow we'll be starting off again for building your brand with Adrienne Châtelet. And then we'll have first takes and what's new in Photoshop and Lightroom with Joe Allen. And then we'll move into Illustrator, where we have some really cool new features with generative recolor and more that you might have seen in the keynote. So thanks again so much for joining us. I know we're just moving into the US time zone. For any updates that you see, be sure to share them with the hashtag #CommunityTimesAdobe. We'll be interacting with them, connecting with you, and can't wait to see you here live again tomorrow. So have a great rest of your day, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Right, thanks for watching. See you, everybody. Bye.